Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are talking about Yellowjackets season 2 and I will be talking about when the show is coming back exactly, and then I'll also be talking about theories, thoughts, predictions, what is happening, and getting into a few things from the season as a whole that I've noticed and the last episode. So be sure to leave all your theories, predictions, things you've noticed down in the comment section, because theorizing about this show is one of the best aspects of it and I really love it. So make sure that you leave all your thoughts down below. And we're going to get right into it because there is so much to discuss. So Showtime is very keen to get this show back on the screen as soon as possible because it has done the impossible, and that is it has done very well ratings wise and is just constantly going up every week. But it also has gathered a lot of buzz, critical acclaim, and even big celebrities coming out and talking about the show, tweeting about it. And those two things, like, you usually get one of those things. It's very rare to get both. And to get both in your first year, I mean, it's nearly impossible, especially in 2022. I mean, previously, before streaming and all that stuff, it was much more likely because before social media and stuff, people used to talk about it in real life and you had to tune in every week episodically. But now that we stream, it's more likely that a show has, you know, a heyday of like a couple of weeks where everybody talks about it and then it's gone. But this is proving episodic television can still work, and it is really, I think, a lot of factors, but mainly it has great writing and it has fantastic performances. I talk a lot about television, and writing is the biggest thing that people criticize and praise. And I think that when you look at this show, like, one of the greatest examples to me was whenever Misty poisons Jessica in the last episode with the cigarettes, and you go back episodes ago and she's telling Jessica that she's going to send the chocolates to her dad. Like, that was setting that up, but in a really organic way episodes ago. And you don't have that kind of forced thing that I think a lot of the other shows that I've covered have got. Like, I'm not even going to talk about And Just Like That because just the writing over there is abysmal. But with Dexter, you kind of had Chekhov's gun the episode before, so it's like so forced. And then the L Word in the finale, you had Shane and Alice telling Bet, what would you do if Tina showed up in your doorstep? And then she shows up in the same episode. Like, it's just, take notes from Yellowjackets with the way that they are setting everything up. And there's so many other examples throughout the season, but I want to talk about season 2, specifically when it's coming back. And Showtime, I talked to people there, but also they've been open in interviews that they want this show back ASAP. And the way most Showtime shows work is that they go back to writing a couple of months before shooting. They shoot everything, and then the editing and everything takes place, and then they start airing. And normally Showtime don't start airing episodes until everything is shot. They're sometimes working on the editing of the last couple of episodes when they start airing the first few. So this kind of schedule I think we'll be looking at for Yellowjackets would be they go back to writing within the next couple of weeks, February, and then they'll probably take 2 months to write the first half of the season. They'll go back to shooting April, May, and then shoot over the summer, probably wrap sometime in the fall around October, November. And then most likely they will air around Christmas time this year, 2022. I'd say most likely the beginning of December, because they don't like to premiere shows at the end of December for obvious reasons. So I think it's most likely that they'll try squeak this in the very last week of November, beginning of December. Before we talk about some theories and things, I just want to really quickly say that I have a finale video. I'm obviously not going to repeat anything I talked about in it. So a lot of the stuff about the finale is in that video. So if you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. I will link it in the description box and down below. And I also have a Yellowjackets playlist with all my videos on the show I've done, and again, things like the pink shoes, the necklace, I won't repeat that constantly. So if you want to know absolutely everything I've talked about, make sure to check out those other videos as well. So one of the big points I want to talk about in this video is Ty, and that is what is going on with Ty, because we saw obviously her secret sacrifice dungeon in the finale. And I think it's pretty, a unanimous decision that the heart was Adam's. I don't think that was Biscuit's. And we also saw, she had the little Sammy doll that was her son's there as well. And I want to just take you back to the scene from, I think it's episode 2, where you see kind of the pictures that Sammy has drawn and stuck on the window. And I'm going to play it and then I'm going to point some things out.
Look at me and tell me what you mean.
I just did.
So the pictures we see in the top right-hand corner, it looks like obviously them drawing someone up like they did with the pit girl. And then we also see in the bottom left-hand corner eyes, and those eyes look like in the pit girl scene, there's like those eyes on the tree. And then we also see top left-hand corner, there's 2 people drawn there, and one of the people has red hair. And who do we know from the survivors that has red hair? And I don't know, to me that drawing kind of looks like Van and Ty. And then in the middle we kind of have these cloaked figures, and they kind of resemble to me people that were in the finale kidnapping Nat. That's what I think anyway. So Sammy obviously had to see these things to be able to draw them. And, we already know that Ty is the woman in the tree. So people are saying the kind of grin that Ty had at the end, is she aware of what she's doing, or is there an altar? And I know someone in my comments pointed out that it seems as though when Ty is in her altar, her eyes get lighter. So that could be a good thing to see when she's flipping back and forth. And is she aware of what she's done to Biscuit? Because it seems as though Ty used this whole ceremony as a sacrifice to win her Senate race, because it didn't look good in the beginning. They were saying, it's pretty much done. The race is over. She lost. And then all of a sudden she turns it around and wins. I mean, what caused that to happen? Some sort of sacrifice. And I know that I also talked in my finale video about if they're setting up this whole kind of sacrifice thing, does that mean that they sacrificed something or someone to get out of the mountains? And I don't know, one of the most biggest innocent things that they could do, and this is awful to talk about, but Shauna's baby, we don't know what happened to it. So is there something there with all of that? So keeping in the whole sacrifice thing, I want to play the pit girl scene and then I'll talk about it. So we all know, we've all seen this is how the show opens, and the whole time I've always been thinking, why does Pit Girl have on this white, it seems like a nightshirt or something? Why is she running with no shoes on? It kind of looks as though she was injured before she started running because she has like blood on her feet. And it just seems to me like, I don't know, maybe she was going to be some sort of sacrifice. Maybe she is a sacrifice. Maybe they're using the necklace as some sort of, you know, symbolism with the white pure nightshirt. It just, we had Lottie having that baptism. I feel like there's something in all of that, but I can't quite pin down the connection. So it seems as though Ty has an altar, but I think there's someone else who may have an altar, and that is Misty. And I don't mean in the sense that Ty does. I think that Misty may be playing both sides and we're not even aware of it, because we saw at the end of season 1 that whenever Lottie is putting the bear heart under the tree, she has Van on one side and Misty on the other.
Let the darkness set us free.
So is Van still with Lottie? We had the reveal, obviously, that Lottie is still alive. It seems as though she is in charge of this cult. And if Misty was so loyal to her, what happened as well in the interim between, you know, obviously the snowfall, the end of season 1, and then when we see them sitting around the Antler Queen fire pit and Misty is carrying the food. I mean, we had this big thing in the finale where Misty wasn't allowed to help prepare the food because she's been fucking poisoning people. So what's gone on in between that? And there's just some other things, like when Misty was watching the movies that Van had recommended. I don't know, I think there's definitely the possibility that Misty could be a plan for Lottie and keeping an eye on everyone. Speaking of other survivors, there was a line in the pilot that when I rewatched it after the finale, I was like, maybe this means something else. And it's when Ty and Shauna are meeting up for coffee, and Shauna says to Ty, no sign of the others, and Ty says, no, not for months.
And there's still no sign of the others.
No, not for months.
Okay.
We have assumed that she means other survivors, but could she be talking about Lottie's group and that they were somehow keeping an eye on them or aware of what they were doing, but maybe they've lost track of them? And when the cult members, that's what we're assuming they are, come in and stop Nat and burst into her room, maybe they were trying to save Nat. Like maybe Lottie had some sort of one of her visions and she knew that was going to happen. And we also know that when Travis unalived himself, that there were those wax marks in the ground and then Misty drew like the symbol. So was there some sort of sacrifice there too? I know they're going off on this sacrifice thing, but it just seems like there's something way more to all the things that are happening, obviously. And I feel like it's right there, like almost to connect all the puzzle pieces. I just feel like we have all the corner pieces of the puzzle and we've lined them up, but we don't have any of the middle pieces. One other thing I wanted to mention was about Shauna's baby, and of course the baby would probably be around mid-20s if they were still alive. It's never been mentioned in the rest of the season, like what happened to it. So maybe Shauna's baby stayed in the cult with Lottie, or it's possible that the baby was kidnapped. I mean, it would be a really sore subject, and I don't think anyone would bring it up if they've kind of kidnapped the baby and it's living, I'm assuming, still in the mountains or the forest. There could be something more to that. Again, I feel like they're, giving us little bits, but we haven't got all the information to quite make the proper theory on that one yet. So let me know what you think down in the comments section. Let me know your best and your craziest theories, because there are some real crazy theories out there. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up in the video if you enjoyed it, and to share it with any other Yellowjackets fans you know. You can follow me on social media to keep up to date with all of the shows that I cover. And also you can check out my Patreon and my merch store in the description box down below. I do also have a second channel that's linked in the description box where I talk about scams and fraud and things like that. So make sure to check that out if it's something you'd be interested in. And as always, make sure to stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.
So cute, so revival, so